Have you ever felt the sting of your children's disrespect, or the growing distance that leaves you feeling lost and confused? If so, you're not alone. In this video, we'll explore the profound wisdom that truly wise parents use to navigate these challenging moments. You'll discover simple yet powerful words and actions that can transform your relationship with your children, even when they seem distant or rebellious. Stay with us until the end, as we'll reveal the key steps to not only protect your family's harmony but also create a warm and happy home, no matter how tough the situation may seem. If you haven't yet subscribed, I highly recommend doing so and activating the notification bell to ensure you never miss a video. Your support means a lot to me as we continue to grow our community and reach more people with our content. If you enjoy the topic of this video, please leave a comment with the number 1. If it's not quite your cup of tea, drop a 0 in the comments. Your feedback is crucial in helping me create content that better serves you. Let's get started. When parents encounter moments when their children seem distant, ungrateful, or dismissive, those who are truly wise understand that the situation doesn't require an outburst of anger or a heated exchange. Instead, they rely on a simple yet powerful principle. Just 6 words are enough to guide their response. These words hold the key to maintaining peace and understanding in a relationship that may sometimes feel strained or disconnected. In the poignant book Transparent People, there's a quote that resonates deeply. The more self-reliant our children become, the more isolated their parents may feel. Despite this inevitable truth, parents often find themselves adopting a stance of quiet acceptance, always ready to reassure their children with words like, "I'm doing fine, don't worry about me. Focus on your own life." As time marches on, children grow up and naturally drift away, creating a distance that sometimes feels insurmountable. This growing gap can leave parents with a sense of longing, uncertainty, or even a touch of dissatisfaction. But even in these moments of internal turmoil, the wise parent remembers: do not get angry, do not argue. These 6 words are more than enough to carry them through. Moreover, it is a difficult task to remain silent about one's troubles, especially when living within the confines of a private home. The philosopher Schopenhauer, in The Wisdom of Life, emphasized the importance of keeping one's affairs discreet, stating that our closest friends should only know what they witness firsthand. Each family has its own set of challenges, and it's often unwise to expect others to empathize fully. Sharing too much can lead to gossip, which may only exacerbate existing family tensions. There is a tale from the Guangxu era of the Qing dynasty, set in the small town of Dangtong, where a family subsisted on rented farmland. The matriarch of the household had 2 sons and 3 daughters. While all 3 daughters were married, her 2 sons remained single well into adulthood. The woman, who had never attended school, found comfort in chatting with her neighbors about her everyday struggles. However, her sons were notoriously unruly, frequently clashing with her and spending nights away from home gambling. Frustrated and overwhelmed, she often poured out her grievances to those around her. Before long, rumors of her unfilial sons spread throughout the neighboring villages, further complicating the family's already difficult situation. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. This story serves as a reminder of the importance of discretion and the power of choosing our words carefully. In the face of familial challenges, those 6 words: don't get angry, don't argue, offer a path to peace and understanding, allowing parents to navigate the complexities of their relationships with wisdom and grace. As time passed, the farmer's 2 sons reached the age where marriage was expected. The father, deeply concerned for their futures, put in every effort to find respectable, virtuous wives for them, hoping that marriage would bring stability and maturity to their lives. However, the reputation of his sons had already spread far and wide, and it was not a good one. Their love for gambling and their occasional disrespectful behavior were well known in the surrounding communities, making it nearly impossible for the father to find families willing to marry their daughters to his sons. Yet there was another side to these young men that the gossip had overshadowed. Despite their penchant for playing cards and the occasional argument, the sons were hardworking and dedicated to their family. They never shied away from their responsibilities, and when their mother fell ill, they were the first to step up, caring for her with unwavering devotion. Unfortunately, the good they did remained unnoticed, while their minor flaws were exaggerated and became the talk of the town. The father's innocent complaints to his neighbors, born out of frustration, had spiraled into scandalous tales that not only tarnished his reputation but also cast a shadow over his son's chances of finding suitable wives. This story highlights a crucial aspect of family dynamics: the impact of our words on our children's lives. Some children might act out or show disrespect towards their parents in public, but deep inside, they crave their parents' approval and validation. When parents repeatedly highlight their children's shortcomings in front of others, it doesn't just damage the children's reputation, it chips away at their self-esteem and self-worth. Over time, this can lead to more severe consequences, such as self-destructive behavior or further rebellion. As parents, it is essential to approach family conflicts with understanding and patience. Resolving issues within the family rather than airing them out in public helps to protect the family's dignity and fosters a supportive environment. Criticizing a child's faults in front of others can be damaging not only to the child's image but also to their sense of security within the family. Instead, parents should be tactful and discreet, always shielding their children from external judgment. The home should be a haven, a place where each member feels valued and protected, free from the prying eyes and opinions of outsiders. Lastly, one of the most powerful tools in maintaining harmony within the family is the ability to resist the urge to argue. Benjamin Franklin wisely observed, "Argument is a game where no one truly wins." Often we reserve our patience for strangers and acquaintances, while those closest to us, especially our parents, bear the brunt of our frustrations. It's all too easy for children to lose their tempers and engage in heated arguments with their parents, forgetting that these moments of conflict rarely lead to any positive outcome. By choosing not to engage in arguments, and by stepping back rather than pushing forward in anger, we can maintain peace and strengthen our family bonds. A home filled with understanding, patience, and mutual respect becomes a true sanctuary, a place where every member can find solace and support. Old Lou, the elderly man who lived next door, had become a fixture in the neighborhood with his grumblings and sighs. As time went on, his complaints seemed to focus more and more on his daughter. He spoke with a heavy heart about how she had become cold and distant, almost as if she were slipping away from him. What had once been easy, flowing conversations now felt like navigating a minefield. They could barely exchange a few words before tensions would rise, leading to heated arguments that left both of them wounded. Lou found himself bewildered by the change in their relationship. He couldn't understand why his daughter, who once eagerly shared her thoughts and stories with him, now seemed to avoid him. She used to come home with stories from her day, little things that had amused her, things she found interesting. But every time she tried to share these with Lou, he would cut her off, his attention absorbed by his interests. He was always preoccupied, often lost in his games or hobbies. And while he thought he was simply multitasking, she felt unheard, her words dismissed as unimportant. The situation was further complicated by Lou's growing frustration with his daughter's life choices. She was in her late 20s, still single, and struggling to find her footing in the world. Lou, burdened by his insecurities, felt a deep sense of embarrassment in front of their extended family. When relatives asked about her, he found himself fumbling for answers, unable to boast of any accomplishments that he believed would reflect well on him. His pride was wounded, and he began to project his disappointments onto his daughter. One day, she confided in him about her dissatisfaction with her job, expressing a desire to change careers and find something that truly made her happy. Instead of offering support or understanding, Lou lashed out. He questioned her resilience and criticized her for not being able to stick with a job. To him, her struggles were a sign of weakness, something he believed she should overcome through sheer willpower. He lectured her about the importance of enduring hardships, convinced that young people today lacked the fortitude his generation had been forced to develop. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Lou's inability to see beyond his perspective further strained their relationship. His daughter, who had once looked up to him, now felt increasingly isolated. She began to pull away, sharing less and less of her life with him. The warmth that once defined their bond was slowly eroding, replaced by a growing sense of frustration and disappointment on both sides. In an attempt to bridge the gap, Lou decided he wanted to learn something new: video editing, a skill his daughter was quite proficient in. He thought it would be a way to connect with her, to spend time together, and perhaps rekindle the closeness they once had. His daughter, although initially willing to help, soon found her patience wearing thin. Lou struggled with the technology, and his repeated questions and slow progress frustrated her. After a few attempts to teach him, she became short-tempered, snapping at him when he failed to grasp the basics. Lou, feeling humiliated and hurt, broke down in tears. He couldn't understand why his daughter, who he had sacrificed so much for, was now so unwilling to show him kindness in return. "I raised you, put you through school, and now that you're successful, you can't even teach me something so simple," he lamented, his voice thick with sorrow. Their attempts at communication, rather than bringing them closer, only drove them further apart. Every conversation seemed to spiral into a conflict, with harsh words exchanged and feelings bruised. The joy that should have come from spending time together was replaced with bitterness. Eventually, these arguments took their toll, and his daughter became increasingly withdrawn. She stopped sharing her life with him altogether. Her once open heart now shuddered. When she was with him, she was quiet and reserved, no longer the vibrant person she used to be. Her emotional distance was her way of protecting herself from further hurt, but it left Lou feeling even more isolated and alone. Somewhere in this painful journey, Lou began to realize that his actions had played a significant role in the rift between them. He started to see that his demands for perfection, his unwillingness to listen, and his harsh judgments had all contributed to his daughter's withdrawal. Yet the realization brought him little comfort, as the damage seemed already done. As parents, it's easy to forget that our children need room to grow, to make mistakes, and to find their way in the world. Lou's strict expectations and his inability to allow his daughter to stumble along her path had only pushed her further away. When children sense that their parents won't tolerate their imperfections, they often react with defiance or withdrawal, which only deepens the conflict. Lou's daughter, faced with constant criticism and lack of understanding, had chosen the latter, retreating into a shell to protect herself. For parents like Lou, the challenge is to find a way to balance authority with compassion. When a child disrespects or ignores you, it's easy to respond with anger or to try and assert control. But sometimes the more effective approach is to pause and reflect on your behavior. If you've made a mistake, admitting it can be incredibly powerful. It shows your child that you're human and that you're willing to grow and change too. And if your child is in the wrong, instead of using your authority to silence them, try holding back. Give them space to express themselves, even if it's difficult to hear. By not engaging in a power struggle, you give your child the opportunity to reflect on their actions and perhaps come to understand things from your perspective. In Lou's case, this kind of restraint and introspection could have opened the door to healing the relationship with his daughter. Instead, their interactions continued to be fraught with tension and misunderstanding, leading them both to a place of deep sorrow and regret. As time went on, the once vibrant connection between father and daughter became a distant memory, replaced by the silence of unspoken words and the weight of unresolved conflicts. French writer Mauroy once profoundly observed, "To think that two people have the same thoughts, the same judgments, and the same desires is the most absurd thought, and it's also undesirable." This simple yet powerful statement captures the essence of the inevitable differences that arise between parents and their children. Often the tensions and conflicts that emerge within families are not about determining who is right or wrong, but stem from these natural differences. Each generation is shaped by its own unique experiences, responsibilities, and life habits, which frequently lead to misunderstandings and disagreements. The generation gap, a chasm that widens with time, is born from these diverging perspectives, making it challenging for parents and children to find common ground. Young people, brimming with the energy of youth, often dismiss their parents' advice, mistaking it for outdated or irrelevant to their modern lives. Their lack of experience can make them appear impulsive or immature, unaware that their parents' guidance is rooted in hard-earned wisdom. On the other hand, as people age, they often become more set in their ways, their views crystallized by years of living and learning. This can make them seem stubborn, even overbearing, as they repeatedly offer unsolicited advice, believing it to be in their children's best interest. At this crossroads, the challenge lies in how both generations respond to one another. Rather than clashing head-on, it's essential to cultivate a spirit of understanding and tolerance. Parents can benefit from recognizing that their children's perspectives are shaped by a different world, one that moves faster and is fraught with its unique challenges. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment on number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Instead of taking every disagreement personally or as a challenge to their authority, parents might find greater peace in stepping back, allowing their children the space to grow and learn from their own experiences. Maintaining a comfortable distance doesn't mean disengagement, rather. It's about respecting boundaries and recognizing that sometimes the best support is quiet presence rather than constant guidance. The wisdom shared in the book Awakening of Parents echoes this sentiment beautifully, suggesting that as parents we should evolve along with our children. As they grow into adulthood, we too must grow not just older, but wiser in our approach to parenting. This means recognizing and respecting the complexities of their lives, accepting that they will have moments of frustration, anger, or doubt, and knowing when to step back. Instead of becoming entangled in minor disputes or trying to control every aspect of their lives, it's more beneficial to focus on our well-being both emotionally and physically. Prioritizing self-care and cultivating inner peace allows us to enjoy our later years without unnecessary stress. Moreover, planning for our own future is an act of love not just for ourselves but for our children as well. Ensuring that we have a secure and fulfilling life as we age, free from the need to rely heavily on them, is perhaps one of the greatest gifts we can give. By doing so, we relieve our children of the burden of worrying about us, allowing them to focus on building their own lives. This approach doesn't mean abandoning our roles as parents, but rather transforming them, becoming a source of strength and stability that our children can look up to and draw inspiration from. In doing so, we pave the way for a relationship built on mutual respect, understanding, and love, free from the strain of constant conflict and filled with the warmth of shared moments. Third, it's crucial to manage your emotions and maintain composure, even in challenging situations. Sometimes, a touch of humor can lighten the mood and help navigate conflicts more smoothly. A poignant example of this is the story of Wang Jinga, a young man who became widely known through the popular TV show Transformations. Wang Jinga's journey from arrogance to humility is both compelling and instructive. Born into affluence in Jin, Wang Jinga enjoyed the privileges that came with his family's wealth. However, this wealth came at a cost. His parents were often too preoccupied with their busy lives to give him the attention and guidance he needed. As a result, Wang Jinga grew up with little regard for rules or respect, indulging in truancy, mischief, and frequent altercations. His behavior was a reflection of the lack of discipline and direction he experienced during his formative years. When Wang Jinga was first introduced to the rural exchange program, his reaction was far from gracious. On arrival, his luggage was confiscated by the staff, leading him to lose his temper dramatically. His frustration culminated in an outburst of aggression, a stark contrast to the serene environment of the countryside he was about to experience. At the rural grandfather's modest home, his arrogance persisted. Despite the kind efforts of the village grandmother, who went out of her way to prepare meals for him, Wang Jinga's response was one of disdain. Wang Jinga would rather starve than eat anything from you. The village grandparents, embodying patience and grace, did not retaliate or show anger. Instead, they continued to treat him with kindness, serving him delicious meals with a smile. Their unflinching respect and gentle demeanor in the face of his rudeness highlighted a profound lesson in maintaining dignity and compassion, even when faced with disrespect. As the days turned into weeks, Wang Jinga began to experience the warmth and selflessness of the rural community. The village grandmother's tireless efforts, including a grueling 3-hour trek up a mountain to visit him, left a deep impression on him. Her sincere care and encouragement to focus on his studies began to resonate with him. Over time, the silent love and dedication of these rural guardians transformed Wang Jinga's perspective. He found himself touched by the genuine kindness he received and started to reflect on his own behavior. By the end of his stay, Wang Jinga had undergone a significant change. He began to see his parents in a new light, understanding their struggles and shortcomings with greater empathy. He actively sought to mend their relationship, acknowledging the emotional void caused by their previous negligence. His transformation extended beyond personal growth. He maintained contact with his rural exchange family and showed his appreciation by contributing to their well-being. Wang Jinga built a new toilet for his grandparents and made it a point to bring gifts during holidays and festivals. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. This story of Wang Jinga underscores the power of patience, kindness, and emotional resilience. It reminds us that even the most challenging interactions can lead to profound personal growth and reconciliation. Managing our reactions and choosing to respond with understanding, rather than anger, can pave the way for meaningful change and healing in our relationships. When children display disrespect and ignore your guidance, the initial step is to regain control of your emotions. Allowing anger to take over only exacerbates the situation and can strain your relationship with them further. The most effective way to address a child's rebellious behavior is through warmth and understanding. Napoleon wisely remarked, "The person who can control their emotions is greater than the general who can take down a city." This insight highlights the immense power of emotional regulation. By managing your own feelings, you not only reduce friction but also approach problems more effectively. Controlling your temper is crucial if you desire respect and filial piety from your children. It's essential to remember that emotions should never dictate your actions. Instead of being led by anger or frustration, strive to maintain a calm and measured response. In the midst of the world's chaos, where loud voices often drown out reason, silence can be a powerful and favorable choice. By stepping back and letting time resolve disputes, you offer peace and avoid unnecessary conflict. The book Before You Leave aptly describes this dynamic. The relationship between parents and children is a gradual separation and also a practice to cherish while moving forward. This illustrates that the journey of parenthood involves both growth and reflection for both parties. It's not just about the child's development, but also about the parent's personal growth and cultivation. A truly harmonious family is one where time is not wasted on petty disputes and conflicts. Wise parents understand that when faced with their children's disrespect or estrangement, the best course of action is not to react with anger or engage in arguments. The emotional climate set by parents significantly influences their children's future and the overall well-being of the family. Thus, cultivating understanding and tolerance is vital. Instead of succumbing to blame and complaints, focus on nurturing a warm and supportive home environment. In these later years of life, let us embrace patience and empathy, fostering a space where love and respect flourish. By doing so, we ensure that our family relationships remain strong and positive, creating a home filled with warmth and happiness. As we wrap up today's exploration of maintaining harmony in family relationships, it's clear that managing our emotions, practicing patience, and embracing understanding are key to fostering stronger connections with our loved ones. From the story of Wang Jinga's transformation to the wisdom of Napoleon on emotional control, We've learned that respect and empathy are essential for nurturing positive and fulfilling relationships. So, what have you taken away from this discussion? How will you apply these insights in your own life to improve your relationships and create a more harmonious environment? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share one thing you've learned and plan to put into practice in the comments section below. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content that inspires and empowers. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.